Hey, it's me, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer, and welcome back to another episode of Quick Topics, a show where I run through 6 different topics, some related to movies, some physical media, some movie rooms. So let's get to it, the 6 quick topics for today's episode. So the first topic, do you need a big TV? In your movie room, in your living room, wherever you're watching movies, do you need a big TV? Personally speaking, my top end of TV size wise is 42 inch. I'm in this is my movie room space currently. This is where I watch the majority of movies. I have the 4K setup. I've got a 42 inch TV. Really happy with the size. Personally speaking, for this particular room, because it's such it's a very narrow room. So like literally to the right of me here, I've got the TV. The chair's here within maybe like a 2 meter different, 2 meter sort of like size wise between the TV and the chair. So it's not a massive distance really. Actually, it's probably smaller than 2 meters if I'm being honest. But yeah, I think for this room, the 42 inch is plenty big enough. Before I was buying a new TV, I was going around like to Curry's here in the UK, like you buy all your electronic goods from, and yeah, I was looking at some of the TVs. I mean, you go in and I feel like you're looking at a cinema screen. Some of them are massive. You're looking at the 50, 60 inch ones, and you're like, wow, they look amazing. But if I'm being honest, a 50 or 60 inch TV in this particular room would be way too big. I think it would be actually more uncomfortable to watch a bigger screen at times because you'd be like sitting back like, this is way too big. It's like a monster screen. It's gonna like eat you up. So I think it really does depend on the room size. Personally, I think if you've got a big space, go for a big TV if you get it. But another little thing as well for me, I think why I kind of lean towards smaller TVs, and this is why I want to bring up this topic. I know, like with some of the TVs, the larger you get, I think they're harder to put on stands. And I'm kind of like a bit old school where I like to have a TV stand rather than have it mounted on the wall. I've never really enjoyed having TVs on the wall. It's each to their own, but I always find personally, because I have a few neck issues, I always feel like I'm like kind of cranking my neck up. To watch them sometimes, and I feel like it's just not for me. So I feel like if I have it in sort of like eye line view, and I know you could mount it at eye line view, fair enough, but I think I just like as well the old school look of a TV stand. I love. I've got a nice like IKEA stand here now, and I think it's because I've grown up like that. We didn't have as a kid, never had wall mounted TVs. So I think I've grew up just enjoying having a TV on a TV stand. It's a bit old school for me, and that's quite what I enjoy. So yeah, I think it really depends on the room size, preference, what you like. But personally speaking, I do lean towards a smaller TV. Really, just I think I mean I say small, but 42 inch man, it's still big compared to what we had in like the 90s when it's like a 28 or 32 inch. Um, I think it's probably for me a 60-inch TV, as good as it would be. I think I'd need to actually have like a full-on like cinema massive space to put it in because it would just be overwhelming in a room because it can take up a lot of space. But each to their own. I personally, for this room here, it's a small space, like a 42 inch. It's big enough for me to watch my movies and get really good quality. You put the lights out, it feels like you're at the cinema. It's awesome. So for me, I do lean towards a smaller TV. Buying movie equipment secondhand. Any advice? Well, I thought of this topic recently because I went to a local charity shop and they had loads of really cheap DVD players. I put up a short video online, but basically, I've seen DVD players, Blu-ray players, DVD players for like £5, £10. So Blu-ray players going secondhand £35. Um, I think general rule of thumb for me if I'm buying anything secondhand equipment wise, electrical equipment. First of all, I would really lean towards. I mean, if you get it dirt cheap, I think you're getting it dirt cheap. You can't really worry too much of it. If you're getting a DVD player for a fiver, you don't need a warranty. It's a fiver. Do you know what I mean? If it works, it bonus. If it doesn't work, you just count it as a loss. I think if you're spending a bit more money though, like say you spend like upwards of like 40 quid, or even 30 quid, I think you need to be a bit more cautious of what you're buying. Maybe look at if it's a trusted seller, it's someone, maybe it's a friend you're buying it from, or if it's maybe a third-party seller on eBay, have they got good reviews? I think that's a really important one to look at. So I think to look at how trustworthy the seller is selling these items. If you're going to get it and it's not going to work, are they going to potentially give you a refund on that? Obviously, if you're buying it from like a charity shop, it's harder to, go back in the charity shop. Sometimes they won't do refunds on electrical equipment, which I understand. You get it a lot cheaper. I think as well, it's always worthwhile. I look at this with like video gaming equipment, and it's similar to movie equipment. If you go and like to CEX and buy a PlayStation 2, majority of the time you're going to get a lot of their products a 12-month warranty. So if it goes in 12 months, even though it's a console that's like 20, 30 years old now, you're going to get your 12-month warranty if it dies on you within that 12 months. So I think if you can get stuff like that as well on DVD players, and I'm sure they do in CEX and the likes of shops like that, your cash converters, them second-hand sort of like places, if you can get the warranties as well, that's well worth it. And obviously, sometimes for that warranty, you are paying a bit more of a premium price-wise. That's the only drawback. But you've got kind of that peace of mind for a 12-month period. And I think 12 months is a telling time for technology. I think if you can get 12 months out of some piece of technology that is maybe 20 years old, if you get 12 months out of it, the likelihood is you're probably going to get a lot longer on it if it lasts at least 12 months. So that's a good sign. So, I think just make sure you trust the seller. You're getting a super good price if you don't get warranties, or if not, try and go for those places where they offer warranties and returns if there is any faults to the product if buying second-hand. So the Harry Potter TV show has announced the majority of the cast now. They've announced a new trio of characters to play Hermione, Ron and Harry. You've got Hagrid is played by Nick Frost, and Dumbledore is played by John Lithgow, and there's other cast members as well. Personally speaking, look, I really enjoy the Harry Potter movies. It's something I grew up watching through the 2000s. It's something I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that movie series. I think it's really a solid series of films. I weren't really that interested in watching it when I heard it first, and I thought, why do we need a reboot so early? Because it does still feel early days. And the fact they're doing a reboot now feels like should they have left it another like 10, maybe 15 years? But they're going ahead with it, and if I'm being honest, the trio, the young kids, I don't know their names, but they look the part. They look like the characters. I think they've made good castings off of it. I don't know their acting skills like, but I'm sure they're pretty capable. I think John Lithgow as Dumbledore is a great choice. Nick Frost is just perfect for Hagrid. I think Robbie Coltrane was amazing, but I think Nick Frost will be great as well. I really like Nick Frost, and he's like in Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think if I'm being honest, I probably have changed my opinion a bit with this now, like where I'm kind of leaning towards. I might give it a watch. I think with me though, with just in TV shows in general, I love binging a TV show all the way through. I've been doing it recently with like comedy shows, some sitcoms. And I like the idea where you can just watch it all the way through. It's like the fact now I've got to wait for Stranger Things, this new season. It's been, a couple of years already, and it's still, I don't even know when it's coming out, sometime this year maybe. That waiting around to watch it, I dislike. So I feel like with me, with this new Harry Potter show, I'll probably end up watching the first couple of episodes and then bin it off after a bit. And then maybe once it's all been released in like 4 or 5 years' time, the full show, I'll probably maybe go and watch it again and give it a whole watch all the way through. But it's like that with the House of the Dragon. I can't get into these shows now. I like to binge it all the way through. I don't like that waiting around for TV shows. That's why I do lean towards movies over TV shows nowadays. Just for the fact I can watch a movie all in. It's there. It's good. TV show, you watch it, it's a cliffhanger, you gotta wait for the new series, and it's just not for me. So I think talking about the cast, I think the cast, they've nailed it. I think it looks the part. They look great, the cast. I think they've made a selection of actors that really will work well for the Harry Potter TV show. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a 90s movie, is coming to Arrow, or is it? It's been heavily teased. It's been leaked a couple of months ago that Arrow Video were going to be releasing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles through Arrow. A movie I really enjoy. I think it's a cracking movie. One I didn't watch for years. I watched it as a kid and then didn't watch it until my adult years, like late 20s again, after not watching it for years, and I was like, wow, this is. I was thinking, is it going to hold up with all the costumes? It holds up. It is a spectacular film. It's a very, what I will say, it's, so it's going to be coming out on Arrow for the 35th anniversary coming out this year. It's heavily teased. They put a teaser out. I think it's dead on. It's going to come out probably, you're looking around September, October time, most likely. Hopefully we'll get an announcement of that soon. So I imagine it's probably going to be a 4K release of that movie. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. One I will certainly be picking up. I don't actually own it on physical media. I've been kind of, I was debating on buying the Blu-ray that's out recently. And it looks like it's probably, I'm sure it's a really good Blu-ray, but I thought, you know what, I'll hang fire and see what this 4K looks like. It is, I mean, whether 4K will look good in this movie, it is at times a very dark, a very grainy movie. So you don't want it to look pristine. You don't want it to be like, really, I don't want to see them just like cleaning up all that noise and all the grain on screen to the point where it looks too pristine. I don't think it should look like that. But I think, I'm looking forward more so towards the artwork that Arrow put out. And I think the artwork, they've been nailing it recently on the film artwork for the actual case covers. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I'm glad that movie, I'm kind of was disappointed that they've not done like a 35th anniversary movie release celebration over here in the UK. I think, pretty sure they did something in the US, but I don't think in the UK they've done anything as of yet. But yeah, I think it is a terrific movie that I'm looking forward to. I was never super keen on the sequels that I've seen. That first movie, though, is an absolute solid 90s incarnation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles if you grew up with that, with the cartoons, with the toys. And Arrow Video, I'm sure they will be making an announcement soon on that. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, I hope they do something really special with the artwork. I think that's the main one, the artwork, and then just not overdo it in getting rid of the grain too much on the 4K release. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Karate Kid Legends, is it any good? I went to see this movie, the new Karate Kid movie, this past week. Buddy Matt mentioned he'd fancy coming to the cinema, so I thought, yeah, let's go along. And it's, you know what, I really, really enjoyed it. And I thought it was a slow, I'll be honest with this movie, I thought it was a very slow start. So basically, it's a new kid, he's coming from Beijing, comes to the US, and basically he gets caught in with this group start beating him up, this bully character, and he's like into mixed martial arts, and then he enters a competition because he needs to help his friend to raise some money, and then this bully is like his opponent in this competition. And similar vibe to the original in that aspect of the competition, but it's a mixed martial arts competition, this one. And he's got a background in Kung Fu. That's where you have Jackie Chan's character, Mr. Han, in there, and it's a follow-on from the Jaden Smith movie. But then you've got the original actor, I can't remember his name, the original Daniel actor from Daniel LaRusso from the original movie as well, coming in there as a mentor as well. And I love the fact that this movie, and I won't spoil it, they tie the original movies with Mr. Miyagi to the Mr. Han Jaden Smith movie. And I'll be honest, I really like the Jaden Smith movie. I thought it's very different from the originals, but I didn't watch it for years, never watched it, and then watched it the other year, first time, and I was surprised how decent it was. I thought it was a decent movie, that one. And I think the vibe of the movie is more leaning towards that Jaden Smith movie, I would say, rather than the original Karate Kid movies, personally. But I thought it was a really solid film. I think it reminded me of a lot of that film. I enjoyed it. I think it was a slow starter, if I'm being honest. So if you go into watching it, and if you go and watch it, and you think maybe it's a bit of a slow build, I think it is, but I think it does in the final act and the middle of the movie, it really does pick up, and it really was an enjoyable movie. I really enjoyed the finish to the film. And yeah, I really liked it. I think whether we will get a sequel, I think it's probably come out at the wrong time. It comes out when you got Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible. It's like, what a bad time to release a movie. I mean, I don't know how good it's done at the box office. I don't know how much the budget was, but it's a bad time to release a movie because them movies are both, making big figures. I went there on the Wednesday and I said to my friend Matt, and I said, when was this movie released? And he said today. And it was dead. I don't go to the cinema that often, but man, it was so dead, the cinema. It was like, this is an evening showing half term over here in the UK. I thought it'd be really busy, to be honest with you, our first night, but it was shockingly quiet. I hope it does well. I hope we see more of that. I'll be honest, I've never got into the Cobra Kai show. I've watched bits and bobs of it, but never really fully watched it. I would be interested. I keep on saying this when I watch some Karate Kid related. I'm like, I want to give Cobra Kai a watch, but never. I just never got around to watching it fully. And it's nothing against that show. It's just having the time. But I know that's a show. Again, getting to shows where it's all out there now. It's completed from start to finish. That's what's something I will enjoy because I can just binge through it all. So I think I will get around to watching that. But it's not. I don't think it's directly linked to that. But there's little nods to that show from what I've seen of that movie. So yeah, I think if you've got your doubts over it, it's got a good cast. It was cool as well to see Joshua as a fan of the TV show Fringe. It was really cool to see Joshua Jackson, who was the Peter Bishop in that show, to be featured in this Karate Kid movie as well. I didn't realise until seeing the recent trailers that he was in this movie. So that was really cool. I think he's a really good actor in, and it was nice to see him in the Karate Kid franchise. So yeah, definitely give Karate Kid Legends a shot. Is Jason X a bad movie or a good bad movie? I watched this recently, the 2001 Jason Voorhees movie, the Friday the 13th franchise. This one leans into towards science fiction and horror. Is it a bad movie or is it a good bad movie? Is it so bad it's actually good? I watched this for the first time recently, based on the fact I saw the Arrow video release the artwork on that. I thought, wow, that cover looks phenomenal. The artwork is amazing. I thought the movie must be amazing. The movie must be just as good as this, a fabulous artwork. How wrong was I? And I was looking online. I think this is like a general consensus of this movie that it's not a great movie. And I spoke to a few lads on the live stream the other week, and I think that's generally, even fans of that franchise don't like that movie. But I was thinking then, is it just like, are they aware? Is it one of the movies where they are self-aware that this is a bad movie, and it was meant to be a bad movie because it's meant to be cheesy, it's meant to be, and I think maybe I'd love to get the the view from the filmmakers of this. Are they aware they were making a bad movie at the time, or were they kind of thinking this is actually going to be a good movie? I kind of lean towards it's just a badly made movie. The concept just didn't. They had something in mind. For me, it's like that. It's 2001. It feels like they were trying to do like Friday the 13th in space with a kind of like Firefly. Star Trek. I know someone will say it's Star Trek, not Star Trek. It's my accent. I always say Star Trek. Is it like that sort of vibe? Them early 2000s science fiction vibes they're going for. I think they're probably going for that, and I think it just didn't nail it. It didn't work. It wasn't great, because I watched it and I was like, some parts of it I was like, blimey, this is, and there is some cheesy parts, like at the beginning of the movie, he's frozen in ice and then he falls down and he cuts off one of these like future group of kids arms off it. Obviously it goes into the future, it's like time travel aspect into it, and it's just dead silly at times. But I do think it was just a badly made movie. I think it was just like the story just wasn't there, the setting of it and stuff like that. Because I think that idea it could have been. I think if they did it now, a do over of that, I really do think they could do a better job of that. Maybe I really feel like if you get like a really good filmmaker in there, a good cast of characters and a different feel of it, I think it actually could be a different movie and a better movie. Like Jason goes to space sort of thing in the future. But yeah, I think the costumes were even on the artwork of when he has like that future Jason look. The artwork on the Arrow video release looks phenomenal, and you see it, and it's just like it reminds me. It's like Shredder. It reminds me a bit like when you see some of the cartoon versions of Shredder in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, or just like this like over the top versions. It just didn't look right for what that movie was trying to deliver. But yeah, I'd love to know what more of you think of this movie. Is it a bad movie, or is it just Are they self-aware enough to know it is bad and it's meant to be bad? It's meant to be cheesy. It's meant to be over the top. Is it one of those movies? I think, I liken it to something like, do you know the Starsky and Hutch movie that came out a few years ago? I think that is I think it's a bad movie, but I think it's actually quite fun. I think because I feel like they're aware it's not like that good of a movie, and I mean, it's completely subjective. But I think that's actually quite a fun movie, even though it is. I'm really aware it's quite a bad movie as well at the same time. So I think I liken it to something like that. What are your thoughts on that? It'd be great to know what you think of it anyway. If you enjoyed this episode today, please leave a comment and subscribe to the podcast if you're listening to it on the podcast app or on the YouTube channel. Subscribe and leave a like as well. And let me know all of your thoughts on these topics, these quick topics today on this episode. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer, and as always, I will see you next time.